Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cherry and Timber Talk once again. And we are in the business end of the tournament, IPL playoff weeks, and can't get better than this. We have a special guest, Apurv Deshmukh, Sir Deshmukh, with us. Apurv, hi. How are you doing?
Hi Venu, thanks for having me over. All good here, thank you. My pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for
So where are
inviting
you
me.
joining from? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm joining from Pune, a cricket fan based in Pune. I primarily watch cricket, and in a little bit time available, I'm also practicing law.
Awesome. Yeah, I think law is one of the hot topics nowadays
Yeah,
around sports and around
right,
too many sectors. Yeah, so that's a great field to be in. Amazing.
right, right.
So, Apurva, what do you think about yesterday's game, man? The first qualifier, and although it was kind of a damn squib in the end, with Mumbai flexing their muscles, but then what was your overview from what happened yesterday?
Yeah, I think one of the terms which one of the commentators used yesterday was flexing their muscles. I think
Mm,
Mumbai sort of flexed their muscles yesterday and showed why they are such a strong team. The
mm-hmm.
general consensus has been that Delhi is the closest contender to Mumbai, but yesterday there was nothing close about the game. A bit disappointed. I thought the game would be much more close, but it's Mumbai's quality, whether it was through Ishan Kishan's batting, Hardik's late onslaught,
Mm-hmm.
the bowling performance of Jasprit Bumrah.
Yep.
It was and Trent Bolt. It was just
Yep.
Mumbai showing that they had all the bases covered and they're much too stronger. Uh,
Correct.
Typically, a strong team showing why it is so strong. All our bases covered and really, pulling themselves away, so to speak.
Agreed. Mahesh, in the first innings, right, in the middle overs, we kind of thought that Delhi had pulled it back a bit, and we thought it could be a closer contest because Mumbai was flying away with the initial beginning, right, and then Ashwin and Rabada and all these guys in the middle overs kind of put some stop, especially when Surya Kumar Yadav got out. That was the time when we thought that maybe 160 to 170 might be the score, with the momentum being towards Delhi. But then what an innings by Ishan and Hardik Pandya.
Like what Ricky Ponting said, till the 15th over, they had the game much under their control. Because if you see, the score was 120 for 5,
Right?
and it looked like that they might be able to contain the strong Mumbai side to maybe around 170, 175, which I think would have been a good score to chase. But that extra bit of an effort by both Ishan Kishan and Hardik Pandya took the score from probably from 175 to 200. And once it reached the 200 figure, I think Delhi was going to find it very difficult. They were going to be behind the 8 ball.
Correct. And of course, after that happened, 0 for 3. Who would have imagined, guys? That ball by Jasprit Bumrah, it kind of, somewhat reminded me of that ball to Chris Gale in 2016 in that semi-final. The late in swing and that Yorker length coming in. But this one was perfect, right? It was like literally
Awesome.
unplayable. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all three deliveries, even
Yeah.
Trent Bolt's delivery
Oh,
to that
yes.
Ajinkya Rahane,
Correct.
with two deliveries before that going away and then that sharp dip
Hmm.
inside.
Yeah.
Virtually unplayable, to be honest. And Bumrah's, I mean, you made a very good sort of comparison to Chris Gale. I remember Irfan Pathan's delivery to Adam Gilchrist in Australia in
Oh,
2004.
yes. Yeah.
Uh, but boys, 0 for 3, basically three unplayable deliveries. And as I said,
Correct.
uh,
Yeah.
you know, the strong team showing why they're so strong.
Yeah. And I don't know. I kind of had some bit of hope with Shreyas Iyer. The way he was playing with Marcus Stoinis, and the way he got out. Right, it was kind of against the run of play. He really timed that ball well, but it just went straight to a fielder, Mahesh. Right?
Yeah, I think he was under a lot of pressure because they'd lost 3 wickets. The run rate, they're starting off with a 10 run rate, right? I mean, it's not
Yes.
that they were starting at 7 or 8 and then it became 10. So 10, 0 for 3. So he was trying, I wouldn't want to use the word hitting out of trouble, but he
Yeah.
was trying to keep the momentum up. He
Yeah.
thought that he will be able to use the power play and score as many runs as possible so that he can get the net run rate to manageable numbers,
Yeah.
and then they'll be able to chase.
Yeah.
Maybe if his wicket had not gone, Delhi Capitals
Yeah.
would have at least given a better fight. Though
Correct.
I'm not at any point of time trying to say that they would have been able to reach 200 runs because Stoinis is looking good. And Stoinis has looked good whenever he has come up the order.
Yes.
So,
Correct.
so there must be a case of study out there for them to push Stoinis probably
Yeah.
up, maybe at number
Yeah.
4.
Yep.
possibly he might be able to come and do some damage. But
Hmm.
I think he was trying to score runs quickly. I think Shreyas Iyer, and that is the
Hmm.
probably one too often he was trying to hit the ball and unfortunately hit it on the up, and it went straight to Rohit Sharma, who was
Yep.
very agile, and he picked up that catch just to show people
Yep.
that he
Yep.
is physically fit.
Okay, I don't want to get into that debate. Otherwise, this show is going to go on for another couple of hours. But then, yeah, it's good to see him back on the field. Still a suspense about his injury. We don't know yet in terms of what it is. Why is he not on the plane to Australia? Even with a provincial, case in terms of just carrying him, and if he's not fit enough, then not playing, right? But then, yeah, it's very very surprising. Maybe there's a clear case of miscommunication somewhere, or some kind of I don't know, some kind of confusion, right? So it's hard to debate, hard to speculate. Yeah, so that we'll just leave it out there. But Apurva, in terms of that delivery again from Bumrah to Stoinis again, right? So coming back in the second spell and getting that crucial wicket, how good was that as well?
No, I mean, if I had a private line to Jasprit Bumrah, I would say, tell him that please save some of it for Steve Smith and Warner in Australia. I don't
Oh,
want to use. I don't want him to use all the good form. He was brilliant yesterday, Jasprit Bumrah, and really,
yeah,
apart from the odd instance here and there, I cannot remember Jasprit
yeah,
Bumrah bowling a bad spell. He's just been
mm,
absolutely brilliant for India, for Mumbai Indians, and
correct.
he's very crucial
Yeah,
to India's chances in Australia. I just hope he
yes,
keeps up the good work. He keeps his
correct.
good form. It's just not. I mean, the wickets that he's getting, the manner in which
Yes,
he's getting those wickets, and it's
yeah,
almost as if every time. I mean, yesterday the third wicket that he got of Marcus Stoinis,
yeah,
just for the brief while, as Mahesh rightly pointed out, Akshar Patel and Marcus Stoinis looked
mm,
like getting the game away from Mumbai Indians. Looked like putting
yeah,
up some sort of a form. And there's a captain telling his lead bowler, look, we seem to be in a little bit of trouble here. Give me a wicket. And the first ball was pitch perfect and got him a wicket.
yep,
That's what
yep,
strike bowlers do. And Jasprit Bumrah has been doing it time and time again. For
exactly.
Indian cricket, I hope he continues that, particularly in Australia, because he had a great tour there last time in 2011.
Yes, yes.
Picked up 5 wickets in Melbourne, helped India win a test match. I hope that continues, and I hope his good form continues.
Yes, and I think what will be really good to see is him and Shami together, Mahesh, with the form that Shami is in. And I think he's been really, really consistent, right? I mean, unfortunately, he's not talked about that much because he's kind of a silent performer. But then I feel that he brings so much of control to the bowling lineup and, consistency, right? He hits the length all the time. He may not pick wickets every time, but he's so consistent, right? He's so good at controlling the flow of runs.
His seam position is beautiful.
Yeah,
That's the reason why he gets movement off the wicket.
correct.
Okay. And for the first time, I think that the Indian pace bowlers are as good as the Australian pace bowlers, which is
Yep,
such a delight for Indian fans, isn't it? I
yep,
mean, you
yep,
always have been wanting to have bowlers who could come out and bowl fast and
yep.
bounce the opposition at times. So these are things that every Indian fan
Mm,
always wanted to happen. This time, I think we've got a good set of bowlers. Like what you
mm,
said, Shami is bowling very well. I mean,
yep.
it was very unfortunate that the Kings 11 Punjab did not make it to the playoff. Otherwise, we could have seen a lot more of. So it also means one thing, Venu, you have to be in the right team to be noticed.
Yeah.
See, if you were in see, why does players like Hardik Pandya,
Yeah,
Jasprit Bumrah, they all get a lot of attention because they're playing for a very good side, and
correct.
there is a lot of following of the Mumbai
Mm,
Indians. Now, a team like Kings 11 Punjab, I'm not saying they don't have great following, but the thing is that at times they get lost.
yeah,
So
yep.
it's always nice to be in a very good team, very strong team. Now everybody's looking up to Bumrah, and I was impressed a hell of a lot yesterday the way he came, like what he said,
Mm,
like what Apurva said about he getting Marcus Stoinis out. I
mm,
mean, it was almost an unplayable delivery to a batsman who was batting pretty well. He was over
correct.
50. He was seeing the
Yeah,
ball well, and this
yeah,
guy comes for a fresh spell. The
yeah,
very first ball he lands it at the right place, which means Bumrah is brimming with confidence. A
correct.
confident Bumrah will do a world
Yeah,
of good for India. If you see
correct.
the Mumbai Indians in the starting few matches, he was not at his peak. Mumbai
Yeah,
Indians struggled. Now
yes.
see the way Mumbai Indians are delivering. Give them any opponent, give them a score of 160, 170. More
Yeah,
often than not, they'll be able to restrict the opposition.
agreed.
Just on that, I think on the Indian pace bowling, I just hope that Ishan Sharma is fit. He's been a great,
We
in
spoke about
terrific
this
form in
last time.
Test matches.
Yes, correct.
And he's a rare breed of cricketers currently because he's injured and actually not playing the IPL. So one hopes that he gets
Yeah.
fit by the
Yes.
time India
Yeah,
reaches
actually, we
Australia.
spoke about this in our last show as well. That Ishant has been kind of a bowling captain for us for some time in Test cricket. He's kind of handled the young pace bowlers alongside, and he's brought a lot of maturity to the fast bowling lineup that we have. And him, Bumrah, and Shami, and and even Bhuvi and Umesh to some extent have really kind of formed a big group of or a battery of fast bowlers, which has been consistent, both in India and on foreign soil for a long, long time now. So I think, which is good that we have a lot of riches in the fast bowling department as well. And now I think with Navdeep Saini and a lot of the other youngsters coming up,
Siraj.
Siraj and all these guys, I think that's it's looking good. I think all we need to ensure is that they remain injury free and they're taken good care of and not burnt out.
Correct. Very important point, Venu. You can't give them too much of workload by which they might burn out. You need to
Correct.
give them adequate rest. It's just if Bumrah is picking up the wicket, you just can't keep telling him to bowl 15, 18,
Yeah.
20 overs a day for
Yeah.
5 days. And then obviously he's going to burn. And he's got a very different kind of an action, which means
Yes.
he must be putting stress on a different set of muscles. So you need
Yeah.
to be very careful. That's where the team management will have their task cut out.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Yep. All right. So okay. So in hindsight, guys, now obviously we have seen what we saw yesterday with Delhi, right? But now going forward, what do you feel Delhi should do? To come back from this demoralizing loss, Apurva, what do you feel they should there be any changes in the team? Were you surprised that Daniel Sams played yesterday? Given that he hasn't
Yeah,
played too much in the tournament.
Yeah, I think Mahesh made a very interesting point about Stoinis batting at 4. Now, in an ideal world, Shreyas Iyer should be batting at 3 and
Yes.
Marcus Stoinis should be batting at 4. Delhi cannot do that because they're trying to fit in all three, Shikhar Dhawan, Ajinkya Rahane and Prithvi Shaw into the batting lineup. So Rahane being the kind of player that he is cannot bat in the middle or low order. They have to put him at 3 and that's why Iyer has sort of moved to 4 and Stoinis has moved to 5.
Yeah.
In the game against RCB, Rahane was in very good form, played a very good knock
Correct.
of 60 odd. Shikhar Dhawan has been in very good form.
Correct.
I don't know if it's a hard call, but perhaps Delhi should look at maybe they really whether want to continue with Prithvi Shaw. It is a slightly difficult decision, but Shaw has had like 4 ducks in his last 6 innings, and I think some single-digit score. He hasn't looked up to the pace. Maybe open with Dhawan and
Rahane.
Rahane. Have Shreyas Iyer at 3, Stoinis at 4.
Yes.
And just maybe get Shemar Hitmire back or give an opportunity to Rishabh Pant up the order and try to get Alex Carey because Alex Carey is a very good player,
Yes.
particularly in the shorter version of the game. They
Yes.
can fit him in.
Agreed.
Might just give a little bit of firepower to their batting lineup. The bowling, I'm not too concerned. Rabada, Notje, Akshar Patel, they've all looked
Yeah.
in
Ashwin?
Nick, Ashwin was, by the way, magnificent yesterday. The delivery that he got Rohit Sharma with, I mean, he's probably got to tackle the left-hander. Mahesh made a very good point that he should have continued. But the drift and the turn with the delivery that he got Rohit Sharma with was classic off-spin bowling. So yeah, the bowling is not too much of a concern.
Yep.
They've played well throughout the tournament, so I don't think there's too many concerns. They came against the best team of the tournament and sort of had a bad day. So there may not be need for too many changes. If they think, if they want to change it, they can probably consider getting Hetmeyer or Carey in and maybe push Ajinkya Rahane to open the innings.
Yes, agree. And I think Mahesh, I mean, we've spoken about Prithvi Shaw a lot earlier as well. But I'm just thinking that, a lot of attention is on Prithvi Shaw because he's at the top of the innings. But down the innings as well, down the order as well, right? I mean, Rishabh Pant is definitely not firing on all cylinders. And, he's not finishing games or he's not doing enough for Delhi Capitals, right? Because yesterday was a classic opportunity for him to play his natural game as well as, at least take the team closer, right? I mean, I'm just thinking, can he be dependent on anymore?
See, he's had a very ordinary IPL, if you ask me. Rishabh Pant has looked very ordinary. He is not. He doesn't seem to be at his destructive best. I mean, you normally associate Rishabh Pant as a batsman who will go all out after the bowling. I don't think he. In the same breath, let me tell you that look at somebody like Ishan Kishan. He's played brilliantly. I mean, you put him up the order. He opened the innings. He scored runs. He came at number 4. He scored runs. He finished the game. I think the only one of the games he tried to hit the first ball out of the ground and he got caught. I'm sure that Mahila Jayawardene must have given him a mouthful. After that, he put his head down. He's tried to get the singles, and then he started playing. If you have noticed yesterday, he had scored 9 runs in the first 14 balls.
Yeah, correct.
And in the next 16 balls, he smashed 45 runs. That's how you play a T20 innings as well. It doesn't mean that you have to go after the ball from the very first delivery that you face. You can take your time if you're coming in up the order. You can take your time, and once you settle down, I think you. So for me, Rishabh Pant, I have had a very ordinary IPL, but he's been really lucky to have been picked for the Australian tour. That's all that I can say.
Agree. I think, we spoke about this as well before that, he's selected in the test squad, interestingly, which is fine based on his previous performance in Australia in tests. But again, on current form, it's kind of an iffy call. I'm not sure if he's in the right frame of mind or if he has his confidence high enough to kind of go and perform there. But yeah, let's see. I mean, for me, if personally, I would have let him go back to domestic cricket, sort himself out, get his mental pace correct, and then come back. Because, right now, I think that he's under too much pressure. I feel he's kind of stifled, and his natural flamboyance and game is kind of affected as well. Because, if you see the way he's getting out as well, right, it's in between, right? He's in two minds, whether to hit or whether to defend or whether to kind of, play a longish innings. But I feel that he has to be given that freedom to play his kind of game and, not just focus too much upon the outside attention that he's getting.
What troubles me is that there is lack of confidence.
Yes.
See, a batsman might score runs, he can get out, it's okay. But when he walks in, he should exude confidence, which I think he's not showing. He is a little tentative. Maybe he doesn't know what to do, or maybe too many people have told him too many things. I don't know. Probably, see, in an IPL, the problem is you have a foreign coach. Okay, so he might tell him something. You have a different captain. You don't have Virat Kohli as a captain. You have Shreyas Iyer as a captain. You might have senior members who would tell you, what, you got to do this and got to do that. Maybe he's a little cluttered in his head. Probably he needs to go back to Ranji Trophy, like what you said. Iron out all the problems that he's had and then come out as a better batsman. He's a very talented kid, mind you. But the only thing is that he's a little short on confidence.
Yeah, I think his success is there, right? Because he's shown it last time in Australia and in England as well.
Yeah, but he's not looked the same player since somebody had the bright idea of asking him to bat at number 4 in the World Cup. I think, as Mahesh has rightly pointed out, there seems to be extremes in his batting. He's either playing a very aggressive sort of approach right from ball 1 or blocking everything off. I think Wriddhiman Saha, Ishan Kishan and Sanju Samson all have strong cases to say that they probably deserve to wear the India cap before him currently. Correct. Probably his 100 last time in the test match at Sydney has sort of made sure that he's on the plane to Australia. But he played the test matches ahead of Saha in New Zealand, and he didn't really set the world on fire then. So,
correct.
I mean, Wriddhiman Saha should be India's first wicket keeper in the test match.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
And I'll be very surprised if Pant is played ahead of him, because I think it should be Wriddhiman Saha.
Interesting.
We had a lengthy discussion, Apurva, last time, and we made a very strong case for Saha, saying that he should be the first wicket keeper. In case he's not well or he's out of form, then you can consider Rishabh Pant.
Absolutely.
But definitely the lineup for the first test match, Saha should be the wicket keeper.
Absolutely.
And based on current form as well.
So, I mean, great form.
In fact, he's had a better IPL as a batsman than Rishabh Pant.
Which is very surprising, right? So good point here by Mayur. Actually, when he mentions about chasing anything above 180 runs in such a high pressure game, right? So what I feel is, again, just going back to this game, was it a correct decision by Shreyas Iyer to chase? And I was a little surprised, honestly, because Ricky Ponting being the head coach, and the Australian strategy is always during knockout games or high pressure games, bat first. Let the scoreboard pressure not get to you in the second innings. And I think that was kind of surprising. Maybe, yes, the conditions were different. Maybe they were following what was happening in the previous game. But this is a good point by Mayur that, I was a little surprised, taken aback that, they chased. And that too against a team like Mumbai, who had a potent bowling lineup, right? So interesting that decision. Let's see what happens today. So guys, let's come back to today's game. Enough of analysis of yesterday. So Apurv, what do you feel? RCB versus SRH, who is your money on?
Well, I think SRH has won 4 games in a row, and RCB has lost 4 games in a row. So the law of averages obviously says that RCB are going to win this one. The form book suggests the SRH is going to win this, but very rarely will you see a team win 5 in a row in a T20. It's just the nature of the beast. Logically, the head says SRH should win, but I have a gut feeling that RCB will prevail.
What about you, Mahesh? What do you feel?
First of all, my money is in my pocket. I'm not putting money.
It's illegal in India, guys. No.
No, nowadays with all these fantasy games, everybody seems to be putting money. Okay, besides that, I think RCB should prevail. That's what my gut says because it's a big match. Okay, and I'm sure that players like Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, all these guys will just raise their game. And there is before Apurva also mentioned that the middle order is a little suspect as far as Sunrisers of Hyderabad is concerned.
Correct.
So probably these are things that might go in favor of RCB, but then if they lose Virat and AB early, they're going to be in big trouble. The important thing will be to see whether they open with Finch or whether they go with Phillips.
Yeah, correct. I think it's a classic case of Sunrisers bowling versus RCB's batting, if I could put it in that way.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's where the contest is. How do Virat, ABD and guys tackle Rashid Khan, the threat? That is one. Versus, how do these guys play against, say Saini or, say Raj and Morris and guys. So I think those guys are good, no doubt about it. But then the wicket-taking options are with Sunrisers. I think that's where they are really dangerous.
But man to man, I think if you leave aside Warner and Williamson, RCB is a much stronger side. Even in the bowling attack, I take your point. But after Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's injury, the Sunrisers bowling attack is also Rashid Khan side doesn't look that strong. I know Shahbaz Nadeem had a great game on Tuesday.
Yes.
But man to man, RCB should be a stronger side. So, but let's see. I mean, you never know in a T20 if Warner gets off and gets a big score, then might be an interesting game.
Yeah, I think, again, form and momentum is on Warner's side as well. The previous game, they were at their destructive best, Sunrisers, did not lose a wicket and just close the game out, right?
Absolutely.
It had to happen.
Look out for ABD.
Yeah, I think that's a great point Mahesh makes. Big game. Virat Kohli has a tendency of turning up on big games. AB de Villiers has a tendency of turning up on big games. So,
these factors could make a difference. It will be very interesting to see what happens.
Correct. I think what hurt RCB as well in the last 4 losses is their middle overs batting. I feel that's where they lost momentum in many of the games, and probably that's where ABD and Virat Kohli are critical to their success because
very very interesting point that you mentioned now that the middle over. They should take a little bit of inspiration from yesterday Mumbai Indians batting. They lost wickets, but they did not give up the momentum. They kept scoring runs. Okay, they're two different teams. I understand they've got firepower right up till number 7. Okay, they're all there. But the fact is, even when you lose wickets, you should not go into a shell. At least pick up singles, keep the scoreboard moving. The problem with a lot of teams that I've seen is when they lose a few wickets, then they start playing on maiden overs. That doesn't help. That doesn't help one bit. The ground is, when you have only 4 fielders inside the 30-yard circle, you can get singles. If you're a reasonably good bat, you should be able to get singles. If you can't get singles, that's when the trouble starts. That's when the pressure starts building up. Look at the way yesterday the Mumbai Indians, it didn't matter. They had lost 4-5 wickets. They lost Pollard for 0. They lost Rohit Sharma for 0. Yet they reached 200. Why did they reach 200? Because they never gave away the momentum.
Yes. But I think, like you said, they have the firepower. They have the...
helps if you have
Hardik firing, that's good enough.
Helps if you have Hardik getting 6 sixes in the last 2 overs. That was a real plunder by Hardik and Ishan.
That was some phenomenal hitting. Honestly, against the likes of Rabada and Notke, oh my God, that was some amazing hitting. Especially the ones over extra cover, right? Of those full tosses, those low full tosses.
He was awesome yesterday. He was awesome.
Yeah. I think he had a point to prove somewhere, Hardik Pandya. He's the kind of player who loves attention, and I think he's been kept in the sidelines for a long time. So I think, he's making a strong statement.
But it was
All
fun.
right. So if they win the toss today, RCB, will they bowl first or bat first? And likewise for Sunrisers. I mean, I feel that Sunrisers would want to bowl second, the way their bowling lineup has been, and they love defending totals. What do you feel, Mahesh?
It depends on the due factor a big way. I don't know
Hmm.
yesterday whether the due actually came in or 200 was too big that the due did not have its
Yeah,
effect. I wouldn't know that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
are they playing on the same ground? The first question? No.
That's a
I
good
think they're
question.
playing.
I think they,
Right.
yeah. I hope it's not Sharjah and it's
No, no.
Abu
I
No,
think they're playing at Abu Dhabi today.
Dhabi.
they're
It has
playing
to
at
be
Abu
Abu Dhabi.
Dhabi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now, if there is due, then
yeah,
then Bangalore would like to bat first.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
get the
yeah,
runs because Bangalore for them more than the okay they have Washington Sundar and Chahal, but these
mm,
guys are good enough with a wet ball as well. I
yeah,
don't think
yeah,
these players
yeah,
these bowlers have
yeah,
too much of
yeah.
problems with the due factor.
Correct.
Like what you said, scoreboard pressure here would make a
Mm,
lot of difference. So the best thing
yeah,
is to go score 180,
yeah.
170, 180, and then see how the opponent team bats. Well,
Mm.
if they score 180, they're good to win. That's it.
Apurv, how about a contest between Rashid Khan and Chahal in terms of leg spinners, right? Chahal has been amazing, right? I feel that he is one of the most improved bowlers as well as dependable bowlers from India in the shorter formats, right? And he's
Yeah, yeah,
in
absolutely.
the IPL. Yep.
It's brilliant to watch Chahal ball because you can always see the clock, the brain ticking in his head. He seems to be planning
Yeah.
something or the other.
Correct.
And
Correct.
every time he picks up a wicket, he sort of turns around to Virat Kohli, to say, "Look, I told you I'm going to get him this way." He's a brilliant bowler, but
Yeah.
don't underestimate Rashid Khan. We spoke about Bumrah in a totally different context. I can't remember Rashid Khan being tonked around in the last 3 or 4 years of the IPL that he's
Yeah.
been there. He invariably comes up, and every time Sunrisers need a performance,
Yeah.
he delivers.
Yeah.
I think Sunrisers should chase no matter what, due no due. I think if RCB are chasing with De Villiers and Kohli, they have the capacity of getting any target that they want. I think if you are chasing and if you manage to get, as Mahesh rightly said, Kohli or De Villiers early, then you are sort of damaging the RCB batting strength to limiting the batting strength considerably.
I
And
think
Rashid Khan versus Chahal, I think, will be a fascinating watch. It'll be interesting how De Villiers goes against Rashid Khan, though. And Virat Kohli. Virat hasn't been at his best in this tournament. He struggled a bit, apart from a couple of innings, and it'll be interesting how it goes. Some suggestions today I think, in a couple of columns that he should open with Devdutt Padikkal. It'll be interesting to see if he does that.
yeah, why not? I mean, I think he did that before as well, right? And he
Yeah,
has been successful in that spot. So, I mean,
absolutely.
I would want to put my best players on the park right from
Yeah, 1, 2,
the
3
first
has
over
to be the
itself.
best players. No
Yep,
doubt
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of a dilemma whether, and hearing from both of you, it's whether you play the opposition or the conditions. That's a big call while taking the toss call. Would you keep the due factor in mind or would you keep the Kohli and De Villiers factor in mind? So that's something which is interesting. All
See,
right.
Bangalore
So,
would love to chase because Virat loves to chase.
Or De
correct.
Villiers.
Do
Yes.
De Villiers.
Yeah,
So ensure that you don't give the opposition what they want to do.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Agree. Yeah, I think I completely agree. Virat is a master chaser, and we all know
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I think he must
And
be
he's
looking
desperate
forward.
to win the IPL, so he'll do anything to win the IPL.
Yeah, all the RCB fans hear you, Mahesh. It's been a long time since they have done anything considerably great in the IPL after 2016.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we are pretty much on course to come towards the end of the show, and looking forward to today's game. Apurva, thank you for coming on the show. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling me, and it's great fun. Look forward to many
Yeah.
more. Thank you.
All right.
Superb.
Thanks, Mahesh. As usual, enjoyed the discussion. Yeah, we won't do the good, bad, and the googly today because now it's the playoff time. Whatever has
Now
happened,
everything is good.
everything is good. So we'll just focus on what's there to come, and we hope that we have a great next 3 games which are left today, tomorrow, and today, Sunday, and the final on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
And wishing everybody a very, very happy Diwali in advance. And with regards to next week's show, we'll make an announcement in terms of when are we going to do that because now the IPL is getting over. So, happy Diwali to everybody celebrating in India and across the world.
Thank you, Venu. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right,
Bye,
guys.
Apurva.
Bye,
Bye,
Mahesh.
Apurva.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for
Thank you.
joining.
Thank you.